Common Council meeting on December 20th, 2022. Our first item of business is calling to order. Second item is roll call. All alderpersons are present, with Alderperson Veneman appearing by Zoom. Our next item 3 is presentation of the colors by the Wisconsin Rapids Police Department and Honor Guard. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
With liberty and justice for all.
All right. Next order of business is the administration of Police Department ceremonial oaths of office and badge pinning for the new police officers. This first one is Alistair Greening.
All right. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Alistair B. Greening,
I, Alistair B. Greening,
having been duly selected
to
serve
serve
as an officer
as an officer
of the Police Department
of the Police Department
for the City of Wisconsin Rapids,
for the City of Wisconsin Rapids,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and of the State of Wisconsin,
and of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge
the
duties of said office
duties of said office
to the best of my abilities,
to the best of my abilities,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Justin F. Mortel,
I, Justin F. Mortel,
having been duly selected
have been duly selected
to serve as an officer
to serve as an officer
of the Police Department
of the Police Department
for the City of Wisconsin Rapids,
for the City of Wisconsin Rapids,
do hereby solemnly swear
do hereby solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and of the State of Wisconsin,
and the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully discharge
and will faithfully discharge
the duties of said office
the duties of said office
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
I think this is the time that you can sneak on out. Otherwise, we will go in your place. Hi, Tim. I just gotta read the plan commission from December 6th. Yes. We're on to item 7, consider for item 6 is, yes, the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting, November 15th. What are your wishes?
Move to approve.
So we have a motion by Veneman. Second by Austin. Any discussion, corrections? Seeing none, all in favor, I guess everybody press your buttons. Please cast your ballots. Mr. Veneman?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carried, 8 ayes, 0 nays. Now we're on to item 7, consider for adoption of the action of the Plan Commission meeting at its, Plan Commission at its meeting held on December 5th. Was Tuesday, December 5th? No, on the calendar. December 6th. I just want to make sure I corrected it otherwise. The Plan Commission meeting, Commission met at 4:02 p.m. on December 6th in the council chambers. Correct. All members of the Finance Committee were present. It should be all members of the Plan Commission were present. What am I reading here? Hold on. I am not reading the right one, sorry. There we go. Let's read the actual ones. So the Plan Commission met on December 5th in the council chambers. List of attendees are on file at the clerk's office. The meeting was called to order at 4 p.m. The first item was approval of the minutes from November 7th, which they were approved. Item 2 is the Vanderwall and Associates update. Mr. Kearns indicated that the economic recovery portion of the plan was in draft form, and a joint meeting between Plan Commission and Council may occur early in 2023. Item 3 was City of Wisconsin Rapids 22-001275, public hearing and action on a request from City of Wisconsin Rapids to amend Chapter 11 zoning ordinance of the revised municipal code specifically related to surfacing of off-street parking and use of gravel on certain land uses, including parklands and other natural resource types. The public hearing was open at Mr. Kearns provided an update or information. Public hearing opened at 4:06 p.m. Nobody spoke in favor or against. Public hearing was closed at 4:07. Questions and answers were provided. There was a motion by Austin to approve the request from the city of Wisconsin Rapids to amend the municipal code. Blazer seconded. That motion carried 6 ayes, 0 nays. Item 4 was adjournment. There was a motion and a second to adjourn, and the meeting adjourned at 4:23 p.m. With that, I submit this report for your approval. And what are your wishes? I have a motion by Bemke, seconded by Zacher. Ms. Evanson?
Thank you. I just have a question. I know I watched the meeting, and they talked about that they were putting together an ordinance or a change to the rules, possible change to the rules. Will we, and I know it says there will possibly may occur in early 2023, so I was just verifying that. I mean, I know commission members were asking where the information was marketed and promoted, as Kyle indicated, and I wasn't real sure of I don't remember getting an answer or hearing an answer on that.
Was that regarding the Vanderwall and Associates or
Yes.
early 23?
Uh,
So they had like some community meetings, and then they had a survey that the Vanderwall and Associates did in the community. And so they put that information together, and so the first part of the plan is in draft form, and then there'll be a future meeting with Plan Commission and Council to kind of discuss that draft.
so nothing has been approved as yet on that.
No, that
Okay.
that will be, I think, more so at the joint meeting and
Okay.
and that presentation.
Okay, I'll hold my comments to then. Thank you.
Yep. Mr. Rayon.
Thank you. On number 3, Your Honor. And that has to do with Chapter 11 zoning ordinance on surfacing of off-street parking and the use of gravel for certain land uses. I wasn't able to attend the meeting, and I didn't see that, or wasn't able to view the meeting, and that could I have explained a little bit why and what this is for?
Mr. Kearns?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
So the request was to expand upon what's currently in our code. So right now, resource-based and agricultural-based uses can pursue gravel, and there are some other uses that staff felt as though should be included in that exemption, specifically those listed in the staff memo. For example, it would be outdoor entertainment, community gardens, parks, recreational trails, composting facilities, commercial stables. These, again, are other similar type resource or agricultural type uses, but they're technically listed in another section of the use table. So we're separately calling them out and recommending that in certain circumstances, the Plan Commission can also approve gravel. I do want to note that we included some conditions of approval. I believe there are 2 conditions of approval that would have to be met if Plan Commission were to approve gravel for those uses. One of which is that the front yard area, 10 feet on the front yard and 5 feet on the side and rear, be hard surfaced with asphalt or concrete, and then a minimum of 4 inches of gravel or granite be installed. The third one that was removed was that a containment barrier or edging be included, but Plan Commission made a motion to not include that condition. So it's just the 2 conditions regarding the setback area and the minimum of 4 inches.
Does this have anything, or would it have anything to do with, parking of vehicles, such as semis or something, and that, for overnight parking, or something like that? No.
No, this primarily relates to those uses. So if we've got a commercial stable and they wanted to pursue gravel, their required parking, if gravel were permitted for a commercial stable, could park on gravel then rather than a hard surface, asphalt or concrete in that instance. So no, it's nothing to do with residential overnight parking, off-street parking for other uses other than those specified within the staff memo.
I think maybe Tom, I had brought up during the meeting that potentially that for industrial uses or residential, that would have to come at a later date. And I used the example as out in an industrial park, a large semi-trailer lot potentially could, versus asphalting that there's existing gravel in some of them, and that could be potentially, I could see that being a use, but that's not included in this. So it'd be a different discussion in an industrial type setting. You good? Okay. All right, any further questions or comments? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Mr. Veneman.
Aye.
That motion carried, 7 ayes, 1 nay. We are moving on to item 8. Consider for the adoption the action of the standing committees of the Common Council as follows. The first one is Finance and Property Committee meeting held on December 6th, 2022. Mr. Zecher.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Finance and Property Committee met on Tuesday, December 6, 2022 in the council chambers at City Hall. All members of the Finance and Property Committee were present. Alderperson Veneman attended by video conference. Item number 1, call to order. Chairperson Zacher called the meeting to order at 4:02 p.m. Item 2, consider a request from Square Bar LLC doing business as Square Bar, Amy Friday agent for the Class B beer and Class B liquor license for the premises located at 210 Johnson Street. It was moved by Bemke, seconded by Zacher to approve the request. The motion carried 3-0. Item number 3, consider a request from the fire department to release ARPA funds to complete the Station 2 project that was removed from the renovation scope due to the rise in costs from COVID. The committee discussed the appropriation of the ARPA funds. Discussed that the appropriation of ARPA funds will be discussed at a later time, and this project will be considered at that time. No action was taken. Item 4, consider a request from the Park and Recreation Commission to approve the funding of up to $130,000 from the park outlay for the creation of a dog park on city property, parcel numbers 34-10669, 34-10668, 07-00279, 07-00279B, 07-00279A, 07-00278. It was moved by Veneman, seconded by Bemke to approve the request. Motion carried 3-0. Item 5, consider a request from E-Way Sales LLC doing business as E-Way Sales, Jonathan Reuter, agent located at 2660 8th Street South, number 105 for renewal of pawnbroker, secondhand article dealer, and secondhand jewelry dealer licenses. It was moved by Bemke and seconded by Zacher to approve the request. Motion carried 3-0. Item 6, consider a request from Eco ATM LLC, Sean Flattery, agent located at 4331 8th Street South for renewal of a secondhand article dealer's license. It was moved by Zacher, seconded by Bemke to approve the request. The motion carried 3-0. Item 7, consider for approval the shared ride taxi operating contract between the City of Wisconsin Rapids and Wheels of Independence, Inc. It was moved by Bemke and seconded by Zacher to approve the shared ride taxi operating contract between the City of Wisconsin Rapids and Wheels of Independence, Inc. for $1,084,731, with the city share being $106,196. Motion carried 3-0. Item number 8, audit of bills. It was moved by Bemke, seconded by Zacher to approve check numbers 14516 to 15254. Motion carried 3-0. Set next meeting date. The next regular committee meeting is set for Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023 at 4 p.m. Item 10, discussion and possible action on amending policy guidelines for the Rapids Rediscovered Grant Program. A discussion was held. No action was taken on this item. Item 11, consider a request from the Community Development Department to apply for the Community Development Investment Grant through the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation in an amount not to exceed $250,000 for the construction of a loading dock improvements at 1100 East Riverview Expressway, parcel ID 3411796. No community match is required. It was moved by Veneman, seconded by Zacher to approve the request. Motion carried 3-0. Item 12. In open session, the committee may vote to go into closed session under section 19.851E of Wisconsin statutes, which reads deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. It was moved by Bemke, seconded by Veneman to go into closed session. Roll call vote was taken. All members voted in the affirmative. Motion carried 3-0, and the committee went into closed session. In closed session, the committee may discuss a request from the Wood County to enter into an agreement to allow Wood County temporary exclusive use of the city parcels known as the Triangle Development for jail construction, parking, and possible staging, and to install temporary fencing around the property. Parcel IDs are 3408170, 3408171, 3408172, 3408174, 3408176, and 3408177. In closed session, it was moved by Zacher, seconded by Bemke, to direct staff to negotiate an agreement with Wood County based upon parameters given, to be presented for consideration to the Common Council to allow Wood County temporary exclusive use of the city parcels known as the Triangle Development for jail construction, parking, and possible staging, and to install temporary fencing around the property. Motion carried 3-0. Item 13, the committee will return to open session. It was moved by Zacher, seconded by Bemke to return to open session. Motion carried 3-0, and the committee returned to open session. Item 14, the committee may take action on the agreement with Wood County as discussed in item 12. No action was taken on this item. Item 15, in open session, the committee may go into closed session under section 19.851E of the Wisconsin statutes, which reads deliberating or negotiating the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or conducting other specified public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session. In section 19.851G Wisconsin statutes, which reads conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved. It was moved by Zacher, seconded by Bemke to go into closed session. Roll call vote was taken. All members voted in the affirmative. Motion carried 3-0, and the committee went into closed session. A, in closed session, the committee may discuss litigation strategy regarding tax assessment litigation the city is involved in. May consider retaining outside litigation counsel for the tax assessment litigation, and may consider retaining a consultant for valuation consulting regarding a scope of work plan for an appraisal for the tax assessment litigation. In closed session, the committee discussed litigation strategy regarding tax assessment litigation. The city's involved in considering retaining outside litigation counsel for the tax assessment litigation and consider retaining a consult for the valuation consulting regarding the scope of work plan for the appraisal for the tax assessment litigation. No action was taken. It was moved by Zacher, seconded by Bemke to adjourn in closed session. Motion carried 3-0. Meeting adjourned at 6:35 PM. As the committee adjourned in closed session, items 16 through 18 were not taken up by the committee. With that, I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Mr. Rayon?
Thank you, Your Honor. On number 3, the community block grant, there is no liability for the city, right? There's not a match, but is there any? Would there be a liability if something on a default?
The fire department one?
No, oh,
Oh,
I did say 3.
are you talking the CDI grant?
Yeah,
Kyle, you still on? I know you had to step away. He's at a Christmas concert.
What number?
11.
Should be,
Number 11.
yeah, 11.
11.
11.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tim, go ahead.
Oh, I turned back.
If you're referring to WDC grant, there's no match for the city. However, since we are the name on the grant, WDC grants require an audit at the end of the grant period, so we would have to fund the cost of that audit, which is normally between $3,000 and $4,000.
There wouldn't be any liability if anything happened that with the grant. That, I mean, other than that audit, that's all we would be liable for, or could be, or that we are liable for, I guess.
As far as what the use of the grant funds, no, basically the recipient of the grant funds spends it on whatever the grant was intended for, and then they're basically we're a pass-through to WDC, so then we get the audit, but as far as that, there's no match for the city on that.
And it's for creation of some loading docks.
And oops, I'm sorry, I backed up to a previous committee. That's why I was on the wrong number there. On our desk this evening, we got for a license agreement that I believe goes with. Is that number? Trying to find the right one. Number 12.
Yes.
Would this then this the vote? I guess the committee. Okay, I just haven't had time to read it. That's all I got. So I'm just questioning if anybody else has had a chance to.
I think it was emailed.
Hmm?
It was,
Oh, I didn't see it. I
was it?
guess.
Oh.
we're not approving this right now, are we? Are we gonna discuss this?
That's my question, I guess I'm getting to, Jay. I think they are.
Well, if you're gonna want to discuss it, you would hold it out and discuss it, right? I mean,
Well, we did not agree to this in that meeting. What we agreed to was to go back to the county and discuss this.
right, and then bring an agreement to the council meeting this evening, today.
Can we discuss this in open session?
Yes,
Okay.
or if you wanna go into closed
Closed
session,
session.
we can do closed session later. But you can discuss it in open session. I don't think there's really anything, I mean,
And Ruben from the county's here also.
Because I was confused as well, just because we had just gotten the email, and so it was hard to kind of go through that, and it said no action was taken, so I guess I just assumed that there was not going to be any action on it tonight, so.
I guess I assumed there was gonna be a separate discussion. I have no problem with this agreement. Paul has seen it, and he just gave a thumbs up, so I'm good with it.
Whatever you guys' wishes are. Oh, good.
My question has to pertain to this agreement. Is there any financial gain by the city? I didn't see that in the agreement at all. Are we just letting them have it? Are they gonna improve it, the lot, in any way? I guess that's a good start for my questions.
Should we hold this item out for separate discussion? Is everyone good with that? Did you want to hold it out for an open discussion, or do you want to hold it out for a closed session discussion? At the end?
I'm fine doing it in an open session.
Okay.
I'll hold it out.
Okay. Everybody good with that? Number 12. And also on your desk was the resolution and the developer's agreement, which I believe was also emailed out for item 11, if I get that correct. Okay, so we have item 12 held out. So I guess we can, oh, go ahead,
I
Patrick.
just have a question on 11.
Okay.
And it would go to Tim. So the only responsibility we have for this is applying for it and then doing the audit. We don't have any insurance responsibilities or anything like that.
Not that I'm aware of.
No.
I mean, I didn't, Kyle was the one that wrote the grant and has all the grant details, but we've done WEDC grants before. I think one of them was the YMCA for their project, and basically it's, we're just we're the kind of the pass-through for WEDC. And then as part of that grant, as the sponsor of the grant, they require an audit at the end of it, and that's what we're responsible for.
Which will be about $3,000 to $4,000.
It all depends on, exactly what the scope of what around there, I think, the past ones we've done.
All right, thank you.
Okay. See no further discussion. So on the balance of the report with item 12 held out, please cast your ballots. Mr. Veneman, your wishes?
Aye.
That motion carried 7 ayes and with 1 nay. Let me see if I can try to make sure to get Kyle in. Okay, regarding item 12. Okay, hold on for the clerk. Your item's been approved. Good to go. Can somebody let Kyle in to the Zoom? Yeah, I'm just wondering if Joe. I think Catherine is. Yes. Yeah. You guys have been approved. Unless you want to hang out with us. Merry Christmas. Joe, could you?
Hello, this is Kyle.
Oh, thank you, Kyle. Thanks, Catherine. All right, we are discussing in open session the license agreement with Wood County. And there's some questions. Patrick? Kyle?
Okay.
Patrick J.
Sure. My questions were, is there any financial gain to the city for letting the county use this, for one, or is the county improving the lot in any way?
Did you hear those, Kyle?
I did. No, they are not improving the lot in any way. They do have to restore it back to its current form. They may be making penetrations for fencing. I'm not sure if they're using like at-grade type fencing or if they're making some penetrations. In terms of financial gain, I don't believe there's any financial gain from the county to utilize this. It's more of an expense because they've got to go out and get the fencing, put the fencing up, and so forth.
I think the question was a financial gain for the city. The question, and I think I'll let Kyle speak.
Well, in terms of the dollar amount per snowfall event,
So that would probably be
or
maintain wholeness on, but yeah, there's no like rent or anything like that.
no, it's just basically once half the site is full, they then will reimburse at $2,500 per snow removal in the downtown area.
I just find it as an asset that the city is just giving to the county. I think that there should be some sort of compensation of some form.
I'm sorry, the microphone went in and out. I don't think I caught all that.
Patrick thinks there should be a compensation for the use of the lot, or a rental, or something along those lines. Anyone else?
Okay, and yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll just comment that the agreement was structured based on the property and finance recommendation. The main change is that the county inquired as to a hybrid approach that would preserve half of the lot for snow storage, because they only would need one half for the parking. So that was added into the contract, which was not part of the original request at Property and Finance.
I'm fine if I personally own something to let somebody else borrow it for free, but this being a public asset, I think that there should be, I mean, if they're gonna improve the lot in some way, I mean, that would be good, but, otherwise there should be something for the citizens of Wisconsin Rapids to see on, an asset that the city owns.
Thank you. Any other comments? Mr. Austin.
I guess I differ on that opinion strictly because as a city, if we can help this project be more efficient at completion, and potentially save some dollars in logistics. I think that's where the savings comes from, because anything we can do to support that project, there's going to be a lot of logistics, a lot of storage, a lot of parking required. So if we make it harder for them, the price tag just keeps going up. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? What are your wishes then?
I'll make a motion to approve. My
So-
motion is to approve.
Thank you. We have a motion to approve. And a second by Mr. Austin. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Mr. Veneman?
Nay.
Nay. Oh, I'm tied. Oh. I agree with Mr. Austin, so I'm voting A. I was gonna say we could coin flip it, but no, I agree. I think we need to be partners, and yeah, any cost that is additional cost that's incurred is going to be ultimately passed on to all the taxpayers, and otherwise that lot really has no use or value because you can't use it technically legally as a parking lot. So that's my answer. All right, let's move on to clerk's ready. Yeah.
Sue, with the conversation we had about all that litigation, is there anything that we need to talk to the council about?
No, we were going to meet with the other jurisdictions. Was that last?
Yeah, there's a
The
big
last
snow
time
day.
there was the big snowstorm, and so we didn't, so we're gonna reschedule that soon, and then we'll come back to the council again, and discuss it again. So, I mean, and, I don't know if anyone has any questions on it, but you can certainly give me a call and we can talk about it, or it's gonna come back to council.
And we have time.
Yeah, and we have some time, so.
Thank you.
Okay, we can move on to item B, which is Public Works Committee meeting held December 8th. Mr. Austin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Public Works Committee met on Thursday, December 8th, 2022 in the council chambers at City Hall. Myself, Sherry Evanson, Dennis Pollack, Tom Rayom, and Mayor Blazer were in attendance. The meeting was called to order at 5 p.m. Item 2 is review to the Engineering and Street Department monthly activity report. The reports were reviewed. Item 3, review the bid results for the West Riverview Expressway Traffic Signal Improvement Project and consider awarding the contract to the low qualified bidder. Pember Companies Incorporated was the sole bidder with a bid of $417,889.70. Motion by Austin, second by Evanson to award the West Riverview Expressway Traffic Signal Improvement Project to Pember. Motion carried 3-0. Request from Alderperson Zacher, item 4, to consider removing pavers in West Boulevard of 2nd Ave South between Roundabout and Lion Street and replacing with colored stamped concrete. 4 alternatives and their associated costs for replacing the existing brick pavers were discussed. Motion by Austin, second by Evanson to approve replacing the existing brick pavers with colored concrete for an estimated cost of $27,774.56. Motion carried 3-0. Item 5, request to remove no parking ordinance on the south side of Clyde Ave from 250 feet to 350 feet west of Lincoln Street. Motion by Evanson, second by Pollack to remove the no parking signs and ordinance. Motion carried 3-0. Item 6, request by Gary Wilhorn, 4281 14th Place South, to install street lighting at the intersection of 14th Place and Whitrock Ave. The amount of lighting in the general area was discussed along with the presence of a church and assisted living facility and potential for pedestrians in the area. The city's lighting policy and potential cost for new streetlights was also discussed. Motion by Pollock, second by Austin, to install streetlights at intersections of Whitrock and 14th Place, as well as intersections of Whitrock and 16th Street. Motion carried 3-0. Item 7, review the traffic signal outage at 2nd Avenue South and Riverview Expressway and consider spare equipment options in the event of future outages. Typical lead times for new traffic signal equipment were discussed, along with approaches other communities have taken to prepare for possible future signal outages. Approximate costs for a spare signal cabinet, as well as for a red flasher unit, were also discussed. Motion by Austin, second by Pollock, to approve the purchase of a spare cabinet and red flasher unit for a cost of $22,700. Motion carried 3-0. Item 8, request to solicit proposals for a bridge rehabilitation report for the Grand Avenue Bridge in preparation for applying for the 2024-2026 BIL Local Bridge Program. Motion by Evanson, second by Pollock, to solicit proposals for the bridge rehabilitation report. Motion carried 3-0. Item 9, request to apply for a Highway Safety Improvement Program grant for pedestrian safety improvements on Wood Ave and 8th Street South. Potential pedestrian safety concerns at the intersection were discussed as identified by Wisconsin DOT, as well as proposed pedestrian crossing improvements and the engineering department's recommendation to apply for HSIP funding to finance 90% of the project costs. Motion by Evanson, second by Austin, to approve applying for the HSIP funding. Motion carried 3-0. Item 10, review the pavement replacement plan. An informational summary of the city's pavement replacement plan was reviewed. Item 11, review the referral list. The referral list was reviewed and updated. Item 12, set the next meeting date, which was set for Thursday, January 5th, 2023 at 5 p.m. And item 13 was adjournment. Meeting adjourned at 6:03 p.m. And with that, I submit the Public Works Committee report for approval. No.
Second.
So motion by Zacher, seconded by Veneman. Any discussion? Seeing none? Oh, Mr. Elam. You caught me in time.
Just barely. I was trying to find my arrow on the computer. I'm gonna have to enlarge it.
I know the feeling.
Let's see. No, yeah, just some discussion, I guess, on number 6, and there was discussion, that night at the meeting, but that has to do with lighting on Whitrock Avenue and in specific 14th Place there, that subdivision. I'm not debating or bringing this up for necessarily the need for lighting, but as I mentioned at the committee meeting, and we didn't think, I thought at one point in time we had a policy for street lighting, for how close together we put them up or whatever. Went through my mind, and I don't know if Water and Light has a policy of what they do. So we wouldn't have to or necessarily go through this again. But also, as I did go out there that night after the meeting to see what was there for lighting. And the church is well lit, their parking lot. And went back again today in the daytime so I could see for sure, but I believe four of the lights are on Water and Light poles, I believe. And the other thing that came up that evening, and not by me, was mentioned about people walking, the nursing home that's there, and the subdivision in that. As I went back today, and now the street has become smaller in width with the snow. Also with that, there were a couple people walking, one with a dog. And that night, evening at the meeting, as that part was brought up about it, I questioned maybe the need not questioning the need for the streetlights, but with that there, the need possibly for sidewalks to be installed. And I guess from, I don't go by there as much as I used to, but I remember when that was under development, this development is, because it kept coming back for more developments. And being on the committee, was out there many times to look that over. So the lights would be good. I do question private lighting beyond water and light poles, if that's the case. And but I also feel that this would be one to turn in, to put on the schedule, or to debate anyway about, and I guess if it has to be a referral, I'll do that, but of sidewalks there. People they're using it for walking, whatever. When the roads are clear, that's one thing too, but even that, there's walking on the street. But as the roads become narrower with the snowbanks, that's not good, to put it that way. So if it could be, if that could be just given to the Public Works, or if I have to, I guess, submit a referral, I'll do that. But I really think the need, or at least a discussion, should be had about that with the development that's there, and assisted living, and that's also there on the other side of the street. That may be a place for something. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any further, Mr. Austin?
Just to touch on Tom's comment, and I do agree, engineering is coming up with standardizing the locations of sidewalks, so it's very likely that that area will be a topic of conversation here once we see that standardized city sidewalk map. So, thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion. What's that? He's not here anymore. Let's see if he can record it. So please cast your ballots and let's see what happens. Oh, there you go. Mr. Benjamin?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carried, 7 ayes, 1 nay. We are on to item C, Human Resource Committee held December 13. Mr. Bemke.
Thank you, Mayor. Human Resource Committee met Tuesday, December 13th in the first floor conference room. Meeting was called to order at 2:03 p.m. Item number 2 was an HR update, A, on recruitment, and B, on end-of-year reporting. Updates were given and no action was taken. Item number 3, discuss and consider for approval proposed changes to the clothing and shoe allowance policy There is an attachment, I believe, in our packet. There was a motion by Delaney, seconded by Rayom, to approve the proposed changes to the clothing shoe allowance policy as presented. Motion carried 3-0. Item number 4 was adjournment. Motion by Rayom, seconded by Delaney to adjourn. Motion carried 3-0. Meeting adjourned at 2:15. With that, I'll submit the HR report for approval.
So a motion by Evanston, seconded by Austin. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Mr. Benjamin?
Aye.
That motion carried 8 ayes, 0 nays. We're on to item 9, reports of the other committees, commission, boards, and departmental reports. What are your wishes? We have a motion by Evanson. Second by Bemke. Is there any discussion? Mr. Rayon.
Mic on.
There you go.
One of them just had, and I do have a couple, but, and I think this has been brought up before for different commissions maybe or something, but, just I think, not getting the reports till now from a meeting that took place back in July, seems to be a little, some people maybe even on the commission forgot what they did. Little, so just, even though we're not necessarily passing this, we're accepting what they did, but that for us to get minutes that far back, I think I wish they'd try to stay more up to date on that. Okay, thank you. And also with that would be the on that does the, let's see, B under those, that's zoning board of appeals. Just a comment, I guess, is that again, it was another one where the staff had recommended denial, and not that the commission's there to, I guess, make up their own mind and whatever to do whatever. But also, with that, and I'm, I don't know, a couple meetings ago or so again, and we had a class in the summertime about that of following what the rules are to grant exceptions. And there was not a, to my understanding, was not a case that was made to allow the exception. But the commission did that anyway. What becomes the bigger fear of that is that that's not necessarily a one-time thing. There could be one where the commission wants to say no, but the one who wants it said, well, you did that there for them. So a precedent is being set for. And we have had a number of these over the years. And that's what the vote was, 3-2, I believe, in favor. But I think that's, again, to reiterate, for these commissions in cases like this to take a hard look at, and again, they don't have to always listen to what staff says if there's a reason for it, But again, remember that by doing this, precedents are being set. And there may be a time when you don't want to do it. But the one that wants to is going to say, well, you did that here, you did that there, you did that there. Why can't I here? It's going to be one that's going to probably end up in court. So these commissions, I am just bringing this up, that they think about this more. It's not just to be more, I'm not being anti-whatever, but it's what the law is and what position we could be putting ourselves into by approving things like this. When it doesn't meet the state's requirements for an exception to approve it. So I just want to make that comment, and that it's something that a couple months ago I did on another item, I think, too. It's just, that's why I went to those meetings, that planning had set up last July and August, I think. Not that I'm an expert on it by any means now, but it did open eyes on what we have to be aware of, what we can be putting ourselves into. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please cast your ballots. Mr. Veneman.
Aye.
That motion carried, 8 ayes, 0 nays. We're on to item 10, referrals to committees.
I have, excuse me, I have one referral from Alderperson Evanson to the Human Resources Committee for an update on the wage study.
Thank you. Any others? Oh, we're on to item 11, the beverage operator license appeal. I forgot about that. We ready for the closed session for me to read it? All right, in open session, the council may vote to go into closed session under section 19.85, parent 1, parent B of the Wisconsin statute, which reads, in part, considering dismissal, demotion, licensing, or discipline of any public employee or person licensed by a board or commission, and the taking of formal action on any such matter, provided that the person licensed is given actual notice of an evidentiary hearing which may be held prior to final action being taken, and of any meeting at which final action may be taken. The notice shall contain a statement that the person has the right to demand that an evidentiary hearing or meeting be held in open session. This paragraph and paragraph F do not apply to such evidentiary hearing or meeting where an employee or person licensed requests that an open session be held. If council goes into closed session, the council may hold the requested hearing by an applicant for a beverage operator's license whose license has been denied by the clerk. Item B is if the applicant requests that hearing to take place in open session, the hearing will be held in open session. The council will take action on the license. And item C is if the hearing is held in closed session, the council will return to open session for possible action on the license. So I think we need to go into closed session.
There was no request for open session by the applicant.
So I think by phone.
She will be by phone. I'm not sure if she's on yet or not.
I'm here.
Oh, perfect.
Wonderful.
So we have applicant here. Let's looking for a motion to go. I guess if staff wants to enjoy your evening, go home and sharpen up your shovels.
Merry Christmas, you guys. Thanks for all you do.
So we have a motion by Bemke, second by Zacher to go into closed session. Yes.
So the applicant could right now ask to have it in open session? So it's up to her if we go into closed session or not.
That's- She doesn't request it. I would think this conversation would be held in closed session.
Okay.
I guess I'm making an assumption. So please cast your ballots. Closed session, yep. Bemke? Are you a yea or a nay? Okay, Mr. Benjamin?
Aye.
All right, that motion carried, 8 ayes, 0 nays. We are, give Joe a second to, I think Joe can probably hang out back there. So we, motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the license. Any further discussion? Please cast your ballots. Mr. Benjamin?
Aye.
Thank you. That motion carried. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ayes, 3 nays. Congratulations, Jamie. Your license has been approved.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Merry Christmas.
We're on to item 12, which is adjournment. We have a motion by Rome, second by Evanson. Please cast your ballots.
Oh my God, I can't find my.
Mr. Benjamin?
Oh, I want to stay on here longer, but I'll.
Well, it's earlier in Montana. No, it's later in Montana. No, it's early.
No, it's earlier.
Yeah, it's earlier. Are you an I? Unless you want to stay with Dean. Motion carried, 8 ayes, 0 nays. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays, and enjoy some time with your families and shoveling snow.